Hi, I'm Cailey, a librarian here with Mentor Public Library.
And I'm Meg, also a librarian, and welcome to this week's edition of All Booked Up with Cailey and Meg, where each time we give you different recommendations on a specific theme. Today, we're going to be looking at teen fantasy books, so get ready to go to a new land and experience some magical stories.
Yes, and all of the books that we're going to talk about today are available for you at the library as well as online through Libby and Hoopla. And we have some brand new titles too in this mix. So, get them while they're hot too.
So Cailey, what is your first teen fantasy?
So my first one is called Only a Monster by Vanessa Len. And this one gives me a lot of like Buffy vibes, which I love. But this is about Joan, who is 16, and she has been sent to spend the summer in London with her late mother's family. She does not know them as well, but she is looking forward to spending the summer there. She's found a job to work while she's there. She's a little bit intimidated by her eccentric grandmother and cousins, but she's liking her job. She has a crush, and he's finally asked her out on a first date. And she works at this historic Holland house, is what it's called. And things are going well. She has this new date coming up, and suddenly something happens that prevents her from going on the date, but also opens up the door to a lot of family secrets. Perhaps the reason she doesn't know this family as well. She finds out that her family are self-proclaimed monsters. They're dangerous to others because of the abilities that they have. And Joan finds out that she also has this ability. Not only that, but her crush, Nick, is a prophesied monster hunter.
Oh, not good.
Vibes come in.
Right.
But so to try to save her family and herself, Joan has to team up with Aaron, who is the heir to a rival family and kind of a jerk, honestly, very stuck up, no fun to be around, snobby, that kind of thing. And he does not like Joan. And so she does not know how this is going to go for her, but they have to collaborate, and it's hoping to save not just her family, but potentially the whole world, just your average summer vacation. What makes this book really unique too is not just the family of monsters, but what actually makes them monsters. As I said, they are self-proclaimed monsters. So you will definitely be surprised by what their ability is. And it's going to make you question, who is on the right side and how really to make that determination. You also will find yourself questioning if someone is truly bad or evil, if the actions are outside of their control. But the magic in this book is like really well developed. It's really unique. And that's what a lot of the praise is for this new title that I believe is planned to be a trilogy. And so this first one just has come out for this summer. The author just is really good at world building. And I think that it's going to be super appealing to teen readers as well as adults.
Yeah, I could see a wide range of people enjoying that. Monsters. Sounds like maybe a love triangle, like Twilight type, like which person, so I like it. That's cool. Sign me up. Love the monsters. I guess they're bad, but I don't know. It's interesting.
Yes.
So my first teen fantasy is also a new one this summer, just coming out this June. Hotel Magnifique by Emily J. Taylor. And this is taking the concept of the place being a character to a whole new level, because this is a story about a traveling mansion with magical discoveries inside of it, where every morning this mansion is found in a different city, mysteriously.
I love that.
Isn't that cool? So it's literally a character because it's traveling. So our protagonist in this story is Janny. And all of her life, she has dreamed of a better life, something different from her boring, dreary, humdrum existence. Well, one day, of course, this Hotel Magnifique shows up just out of the blue, totally random. So her and her younger sister, who she kind of takes care of, takes under her wing, they're like, let's see what's going on in this hotel. Well, they're not allowed to stay at the hotel because they don't have the money, but they are offered the chance to work there. And so this is a totally awesome traveling job. They're thinking, why not? And they go and they do this. And at first it seems perfect, but Janny discovers something pretty dark. And that's that their contract is unbreakable. So pretty much without knowing it, they got stuck there forever. There's no way out of it. And then all of a sudden, all the decadent, glamorous stuff starts to seem a little more sinister. Maybe there are some dark secrets underneath all that. So this book is so cool because Janny just has to find out, okay, how do we get out of this, first of all? And then second of all, why is this the way it is? And what is going on here? So there's a lot of fun mystery to it and a lot of just fun magic of a traveling house. What can you go wrong with that?
I love that. I'm serious. I'm writing that one down.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
A good escape. So my next one is going to have a familiar character to a lot of people.
Okay.
The next book I have just came out, I think last month, is Bravely by Maggie Stiefvater. Maggie Stiefvater has written a ton of teen books. I know that she has done a lot of fantasy things and has been quite popular. And so I think just in general with that name, it should, get you some interest. So are you familiar with Brave, the Disney Pixar?
The Pixar, of course. Awesome.
So that's the movie about Merida, the Scottish princess, I think best known for sort of winning her own hand when she's supposed to be betrothed to someone. And in this new book, it picks up a year or more after that movie ends. And it we find Merida having gone on a few adventures since we've left her, but she has returned to Dunbrock. And she has come home and she learns of a plot against her family by a god called Faradoc. And this god is tasked with rooting out rot and stagnation on Earth, which sounds real bad. But he wants to get rid of her whole village, her whole family. And she strikes a deal with another god to try to save them. She has just 1 year, 4 seasons, to enact change within her family and the village, or else, basically. So this new mission has obviously sort of thrown off any plans that Merida had for herself. She had been longing for adventure, travel, and something new in her life. And it's this new challenge. I mean, it's definitely giving her some of that. There's some adventure and something new. But she has to go on these epic quests to kingdoms near and far in order to complete this journey from the gods. And of course, problems never hit one at a time. So there is also a threat from a neighboring kingdom where the king is trying to overthrow Dunbrock. And so she has both like an earthly threat as well as a supernatural threat that she's trying to fix. And she does get to go on these quests with different members of her family. And so she has this opportunity to learn more about the people closest to her. And so it's adding in a lot of layers. And there's characters that are very familiar if you've seen the movie, as well as characters that, maybe didn't have as much of a role in the film or were not in there. But she learns a lot about her loved ones and learns that some of the assumptions she's made about them are not correct. And it's a fun read for anyone who is familiar with the movie, of course, but also it's just a good sort of like fantasy adventure filled with gods and magic and all of these sort of epic journeys that are classic to literature in general. But it also does have her triplet brothers who are still driving her nuts.
It is so great. I love Brave and I love the continuation. I mean, they've been doing those lately with Disney with great YA authors continuing the story from those. And I think those are so fun You know, when I was growing up, we were playing those really grainy computer games of Hercules, and like that wasn't a good continuation of the story. This is much better. So I like that.
Back.
Right. Exactly. So it sounds like a great read, especially if you love Brave, which we do. So my last one is not so new, but it's the first in a great series that recently wrapped up. And this is called The Paper Magician by Cailey and Holmberg. And the series is set in Edwardian England in the 1900s. And it's about, kind of think, like Harry Potter when they would get sorted into their little houses. The same way they're getting sorted into their magic schools of what sort of magical art these magical people are getting sorted into. So our hero is called Sione Twill, and she's kind of bummed at the beginning of this story because her dream was to work putting spells on metal and like working magically with metal and forming it. But instead, she got kind of boring paper magic. So kind of just like souped up origami in a sense. So she's not real excited about this, but this is what she's stuck with. And the really especially dreary part of this is that once you get stuck with this and you finish your course, you're stuck with it for your whole life. So you can't work in any other type of magic. So, and she stays at this school with her mentor, Emery Thane, and she actually ends up really liking him. He's very kind, he's sympathetic, and he actually shows her how the world of paper magic is really fun, creating awesome animals that come to life out of paper, creating images and movies that come to life. So she's actually learning to enjoy this. But then all of a sudden, what's called an excisioner, which is a practicer of dark flesh magic, yikes, he invades the cottage and rips her mentor's heart from his chest. Yeah,
That took
scary. But he doesn't die. There's still a way for him to survive, but Sione has to travel inside his heart and reveal the very soul of the man. So she has to go inside.
It sounds like a magic school bus adventure.
It is, it really does. I know, but then there's paper involved, paper magic involved. Okay. So yes, so yeah. But as she does this, she learns more about herself and her mentor, who she comes to feel quite fond of. And along the way, like I said, this is the first in a 4-part series. So her adventures are going to go on over past this first one. I think you'll be hooked because it's very unique. I think you can already tell from what I've said, there's some unique aspects to this story. And I like it because I was never good at origami. I was never good at making paper airplanes. So I like hearing about people. It is magical to fold paper really good.
I guess so, yeah.
It is. It is. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us for this week's edition of All Booked Up with Cailey and Meg. We hope you got some interesting ideas for maybe reading some teen fantasy. Even if you're not a teen, I think you can enjoy these.
Yes, I think it'd be fun to, jump away to another world this summer and enjoy the magical elements of these fun fantasy tales too. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. Happy reading.